I'd like to read from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11. Chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance and unrighteous dealings are extremely offensive and shamefully sinful to the Lord. A false balance is extremely offensive to the Lord. I believe this proverb very succinctly illustrates what your relationship with your narc is all about. A false balance. Unrighteous dealings. I wrote these thoughts of mine down last night in regard to this. The narc imposes no moral debt or responsibility upon himself, yet imposes impossible moral burdens upon you. Worse, the moral burdens he imposes upon you are not based on established societal norms, religious creed, or widely accepted principles and philosophies. No, the moral burdens placed upon you originated with him, and they are based solely on the lusts and desires of his own heart, mind, and flesh. The narc's moral code is centered around an insatiable need for supply. And here's some examples of that. You can't do anything right, yet the narc can do no wrong. You have no right to so much as question him, yet he has every right to punish you. You have every right to be judged by him, yet he feels no compunction to judge himself. I believe that herein lies the rank hypocrisy of the malignant narcissist. And when they are of the covert variety, that hypocrisy stinks to high heaven. They don't feel obligated to any type of moral code whatsoever, except what helps me. What makes me feel good. What makes me look good. These are morally bankrupt people. I'm going to say that again. These are morally bankrupt, empty shells. It's so important to go no contact from them. For your safety. For your spiritual safety. Their morality, their moral compass is centered around, or may I put it this way, the due north of their moral compass is, how can I get supply? Whether it's from their target kissing their ass, or from the joy they get, their sadistic joy they receive when they terrorize you and scapegoat you. Either way, it provides for them this God-like sensation that I am in control. This is what their moral compass is based upon. the selfish need for ego supply, That's their true north. So in other words, they don't have a moral code. They're not obligated to squat. They've shut off their conscience a long time ago. Most of them, in my opinion, did it when they were little children. And they chose to do it. Yet the paradox of all this, especially if you were raised by one, is while they don't judge themselves for anything, they feel obligated to no one. Forgive me, my cats are acting hyper right now. Yet they expect you, they place a moral burden on you that's impossible. When I wrote here, you can't do anything right in their eyes, you know that's true. If you grew up with one, you can't do a damn thing right. Their standard is not only high and lofty, it's impossible. It's a burden that cannot be borne. And they do this on purpose. Why do they do it? Why do they place this burden on you? Because they enjoy it. They're sadists, okay? And those of us who are connected to our conscience, especially when we were young and our thinking was undeveloped, our conscience was undeveloped, our consciousness was underdeveloped, we were wondering what is going on. Why is it I can't please this one who I live to please? It's so ironic to me that the very people who feel no moral obligation to God or man or society place impossible moral burdens on their victims. And as Proverbs 11 says, that is extremely offensive to God. Do you hear that, Mr. and Mrs. Narc? It is shamefully sinful to the Creator. Shamefully sinful. Jesus referred to the narcs of his day as the pretenders. The pretenders. You think you're so high and mighty when you place unreasonable moral burdens on those around you, yet you won't even lift a finger to address the moral obligation on you. You're a pretender. You're a hypocrite. Do you have any moral obligations to the narc who did this to you? What are your obligations to this person? This hypocrite? Well, what are your obligations to any man or woman who shamefully sin against God? What are your obligations to any man or woman whose behavior and attitude is extremely offensive to God? I'll let you answer that yourself. Thank you.